want to ask you all one simple question. How digitally curious are you? Now, I know we've got the voting app, but this time I'm going to do it old school. Can I get you all to stand up, please? Who here has bought their own domain name? Wow, loving it. A few more back in the game. You can see the different range of digital curiosity in the room. Who here has bought some Bitcoin? No one. One person in the room. Give yourselves a round of applause. That was fantastic. Now, those are 6 things that you can do very, very easily. And they're the sort of things that I've been doing over the last 20 or 30 years because I'm pretty digitally curious. But if you remember nothing else from my talk today, you need to disrupt yourselves or you'll be disrupted. Arthur was seeing things 30 years in the distance. You haven't got 30 years. You may not have 30 months or 30 weeks. You need to know now, what do I do today, tomorrow, to stop my company being disrupted or leverage the power of digital? So you need a practical futurist. And I'm going to guarantee you're going to leave with 3 or 4 things this afternoon that you can go home or back to the office and do to improve your digital curiosity. Remember this noise? Not so long ago, we would dial up to the internet, hoping that it was going to connect, and then we could look at things very slowly. Who here was born after 1983? I know Vito was. Okay, I've been online longer than you've been alive. We've heard a lot about disruption. And I want to take you through why I believe disruption happens. And as I'm talking about this, think about the funds you're involved with, the work that you do. I think disruption happens because of 3 main forces. First of all, there are high profits. And in your industry, in the taxi industry, the hotel industry, there are massive profits to be had. Disruptors see that and they say, I'd like a piece of that. The third thing is consumer demands. Who here has an Amazon Prime account? A lot of people. You're one of 100 million people globally that pay between $50 and $100 a year for the pleasure of having Amazon parcels delivered same day or next day. Who thinks they'd use a service like that? It's available now. AXA underwrite it here in the UK. It's available in Australia and soon the US. And what was interesting, a couple of years ago, I was on stage at an insurance conference and I gave this as an example. And the panel straight after me were a bunch of CEOs of mutual insurers. And they said, oh, we're not worried about Trove. But I was standing off in the wings, standing next to their business managers and their strategy managers, who said, we are petrified about the Troves of this world because they remove the friction. So Bezos needed 3 ingredients that he didn't have and didn't need to buy or make. Transportation system, payments platform, and a communications channel. What 3 things do you already have that you don't have to go out and buy again? There's a problem with this graph, though. This graph was from 2012. It's already happened. All these industries have been disrupted. Now, in every audience, in every organisation, in every boardroom, I think there are 3 types of people. There are the prayers. They're just praying that this is going to go away. We're close to retirement or we're going to change roles. We just don't want to know about it. There are the stayers. But I want to invite you all to be the players. I want you to lean forward when we talk about digital. Be inquisitive, ask the right questions, and if you don't know the answer, find someone who does. The EU and the UK governments basically said to the 9 big banks, you have to provide data in a transportable format using what's called an API, or an Application Programming Interface. Now, to give you an example of what an API is, it's computers talking to computers. The reason you can book an EasyJet flight on Expedia is the 2 systems talk to each other. But I see GDPR as an opportunity. The GDPR replaced the Data Protection Act that was 20 years old. It was written in a time before email marketing or social media, and it basically rights a bunch of wrongs. And last March, there was a watershed moment. When the Cambridge Analytica Facebook scandal happened around the time of GDPR, it hit the front page news. And so consumers are now saying, Facebook did what with my data? That to get digital, you need to be digital. And this is where I want you to be involved. Can I invite you to get out your mobile phones? Because the next slide, most people like taking a picture of. I call it the scary slide. And as I let it build, all the words and phrases and terminology on this screen will disrupt your industry in the next 18 months. Now, some of you may go, I don't know what some of those mean. That's okay. Here's some homework for you. Tonight, tomorrow, print out that slide, go to Wikipedia and play Wikipedia bingo and see which ones you understand and what they mean. Bitcoin has been in the news because humans are greedy. And when a new technology comes out and you can apparently make lots of money out of it, it hits the front page and journalists love it. But Bitcoin, based on blockchain technology, was never designed to be a currency. Who here knows the global transaction speed per second of Bitcoin? 7, that's number 7 transactions per second globally. Why? It was never designed to be a currency. You can run things called hackathons. This is where you get the emerging leaders of your organisations, the Vitos and his crew, and you give them a business problem to solve, and you basically lock them in a room like this with Wi-Fi, beer and pizza for a couple of days, and they solve a business problem. And I encourage every organisation I speak to run a hackathon. Your organisations have 2 tribes. First tribe are the going digital. Many represented here today, you know how to manage at the highest levels, you know how to get things done, but your digital skills are developing. Then there are the born digital, born with the iPhone in the mouth. They live and breathe this stuff. The 2 tribes need each other. My final point is you need to disrupt or you'll be disrupted. Thank you very much.